I knew things were going to be strange in my first year as an assistant state attorney for Miami Dade County, when a defense attorney came up during court and asked me to spell my full name. "Is that the exact spelling?" he said, pushing his legal pad into my face. "It has to be exact." "Why?" "My client's family wants it." When he came back and asked for a strand of my hair, I was bewildered. "Absolutely not." A few moments later, "Ow! What the?" This defense attorney, a licensed member of the Florida bar, had pulled out a strand of my hair and was walking it to the client's family. I had been violated. But why? A Cuban-American prosecutor nearby whispered the word Santeria. It was all he would say. Over the years, when I asked other Cubans about Santeria, I got that same tight-lipped reaction. One woman explained, "We might not believe, but we respect." When I told a fellow prosecutor I thought the little cloth doll that had been placed on his chair during trial was cool in a slasher film kind of way, he gave it to me. I found another outside the courthouse and I began to collect them, even though they burned a little when I touched them. Then one evening, after a hearing involving defendants whose families were Santeros, I saw a 3-foot, lifelike doll face up in the gutter outside the courthouse. The detective who was walking me to the office politely ignored what became obvious the closer we got. It was an effigy of me. The detective led me away, but I kept looking back at the doll. What do you do if a magical representation of you has been left lying in a gutter? Do you leave her there where cars could hit her? Do you pick her up? Or would that be like taking home the bride of Chucky? I left her, but I wanted answers. I signed up for a ritualistic crime investigation class with the City of Miami Police Department. I learned not to pick up those little dolls with your hands. They're usually covered in pulverized frog skin or urine. We went on field trips deep into the heart of Hialeah, to graveyards and botanicas, stores that sell magical items. The first was a combined botanica and pet store for those pets you want to sacrifice. The second botanica looked like an apothecary out of Harry Potter. It specialized in palo, the darkest, the most powerful of black magic. There were shelves of powders, potions, and dried plants. I came out of that store with a prosecutor's protection kit, complete with beads, potions, and a piece of tree bark that's supposed to heighten my powers of persuasion. I was ready to battle the supernatural. 2 years later, I prosecuted a Palo priest, a high priest. He was said to have cured cancer and to have made the lame walk. I charged him with the sexual battery of his stepdaughter. He had molested the child from age 6 to 12. When the child's autistic little sister began obsessively drawing herself being chased by spirits and being lifted by angels to heaven, the family became convinced it was the Palo priest sending a warning. They had confidence in me, but they weren't taking chances. They brought in a specialist to dismantle an altar in the priest's backyard. The altar featured an assembly of black cauldrons. That's where the spirits are housed. They were guarded over by life-size statues, including Siete Rayos, the deity of war, with action figure sword accessory. It was the same sword the child had watched the Apollo priest hold to her mother's throat. The child was allowed to testify by closed-circuit TV, but strange things happened. First, there were technical difficulties with the closed-circuit system. When we finally got reception, the child froze in fear and wouldn't answer my questions. Then, while she was testifying, an electrical power surge raised the clerk's table and the judge's bench off the floor like a wave. One of the jurors gave me a look like, "No way." I turned to the Apollo priest. He smiled. He's doing a life sentence now. I'm not sure if the protective powder I dabbed behind my ears or the bark I chewed that morning had any effect on the outcome of the trial. But even if I don't believe, I too have learned to respect.